Neon Genesis Evangelion, my and many other people's favorite show. This is a show that is well known for being extremely confusing at times, so whether it's the dreamlike sequences of episode 25 and 26, or it's the topics of depression and loneliness that are brought up frequently throughout the show, it can be understandably hard to understand what the hell is happening before your eyes and on your screen. So today, in this video, I'll be trying to explain the story Hideaki Anno was trying to tell in his 1995 psychological drama that shook the world. But first, a disclaimer. Everything that is said in this video is my opinion on the show. Due to the confusing nature of this show, many people have had many different views on what the show is trying to say or what the show's story is about. Therefore, instead of trying to include everybody's opinion into one godforsakenly long video that I do not want to make, I have instead decided to base this video on my opinions of what truly happened over the course of the show. There also might have been a few things I missed, so please take that into account as well as you're watching this video. After watching this video, you can decide for yourself if this explanation that I present to you makes any sense or not. Also, there might be some content that isn't suitable for some audiences, so please take this as a warning if you don't like a little bit of violence every now and then. Alright, let's get this video going. In episode 1, we are introduced to Shinji Ikari, a boy who seemingly is lost in a city with no one else in it. On his way through the city, a mysterious being called an angel attacks, seemingly at random, causing Shinji to have to flee for his life when Masato Katsuragi picks him up to deliver him to his estranged father, who apparently has a need for him. After getting their car flipped over by the shockwave of a non-nuclear bomb dropped to kill the angel, they arrive at the headquarters of Shinji's dad, which happens to be a massive hollowed-out piece of earth underneath the city of Tokyo 3, operated by an organization called Nerve. It is at this place that Shinji's dad, Gendo Ikari, works as the commander-in-chief, and is where Shinji finds out the true reason that Gendo wanted him, so that he could pilot mechas named Evangelion to fight off the angel threat to the base and the city above, something only teenagers can do. Shinji doesn't think he can do it though, as he just arrived and has no idea what's going on or what to do, so they end up having to ditch him and rely on a heavily injured girl named Rei. But when an explosion goes off that knocks her to the floor, Shinji sees the condition that she is in and agrees to fight the angel for her. After a suiting up sequence, the Evangelion encounters the angel and the episode ends. In episode 2, Shinji faces off against the angel from the last episode, but is made quick work of by its superior fighting abilities. Shinji and the Eva sustain heavy injuries, causing him to black out and wake up in a hospital the next day, seemingly unharmed and having won the battle. After meeting his father in an elevator at the hospital and not speaking a word to each other, Shinji's living arrangements are decided for him. He will be living with Masato in her apartment for the foreseeable future, along with a hyper-intelligent penguin she stole from her last job named Pen Pen. Masato takes him to a mountain range overseeing the city, where she tells him that this is the city that he helped save, then brings him back to her apartment. He takes a bath and begins to remember what happened the night before. As he blacked out, the Evangelion went berserk, and began to operate on its own without Shinji controlling it, and completely tore apart the angel, making the angel self-destruct while suffocating the Eva. The Eva then begins to walk away. Shinji wakes back up to a damaged Eva without its helmet armor on, revealing an organic being's eye, which causes him to scream in terror and black out again, returning back to the present in his bed. Masato comes to his room to console him and tells him what happened was not his fault, and that he saved the city. The episode ends. In episode 3, we started off after 2 to 3 weeks have already passed. Shinji is seen acting like a zombie after weeks of intense training to be an EVA pilot. During these weeks, he has also begun going to school again, where he has made no friends. Masato and Ritsuko, who is the lead scientist at NERV, discuss as to why, and Ritsuko suggests that it might be because of the hedgehog's dilemma, which suggests that people who have gone through pain and trauma in their life have a hard time getting close to other people, as the name implies. In Shinji's class, we are introduced to Hikari, the class representative, Kensuke, the class nerd, and Suzuhara, the class jock. Suzuhara returns from weeks away from school, and when Kensuke asks him why he's been gone, Suzuhara replies with the fact that his little sister had been crushed by a pile of rubble from the battle in the last episode, and has been in intensive care ever since, which makes him hate the pilot of the Evangelion. When Kensuke tells him about the transfer student, Shinji, and the suspicious timing of his arrival, he begins to suspect that Shinji is the pilot, which is confirmed minutes later when he is asked the question by 2 girls in his class. This causes Suzuhara to bring him outside to beat him up, because he wouldn't feel right if he didn't. But when Shinji brings up the fact that it's not his choice to pilot the Evangelion, but his father's, Suzuhara punches him again, leaving him on the ground. Rei runs up to beat up Shinji to tell them that they've been called into Nerve because another angel has been spotted on the horizon. As Shinji begins to fight the angel, Kensuke asks Suzuhara if he would like to go see the fight, as there has been a media blackout surrounding the angels and the Evangelion since the first battle. During the fight, Shinji has what can be described as a mental breakdown, which Kensuke says is a result of Suzuhara's beatdown, and runs away from the angel, causing his power supply to be cut, and is launched into a cliffside, almost crushing Kensuke and Suzuhara, who are watching from afar. Wanting to protect them, Shinji lets them inside of the Eva, and, not wanting to run away like he did before, even against orders from Misato, continues to fight the angel, even while running out of power in his Eva. He manages to kill the angel mere seconds before his power runs out. 3 days later, and feeling guilty about what he did to Shinji, Suzuhara is given the opportunity to apologize to Shinji for beating him up. But he doesn't, because he still can't forgive him for what he did to his sister, even after saving his life. The episode ends. In episode 4, Misato wakes up in the morning to find Shinji not in his room or anywhere in their apartment, and comes to the conclusion that he has run away. Kensuke and Suzuhara show up at their apartment to say hi to Shinji, and they give him the handouts that he should have received in class but never got, as at this point he has been skipping school for days. Misato tells them that Shinji isn't there, and that he's at Nerve doing some extra training. She then closes the door on them with a smile, but when it's closed, kicks it in anger. Elsewhere, we see Shinji on a train listening to music going around and around the city until its final stop, which takes almost the entire day. He then leaves the train and goes to see a movie, but leaves when a couple begin making out 10 rows away from him. He sleeps on a bench in the movie theater overnight. The next day, Misato talks to Ritsuko about why he would run away, and Ritsuko suggests that it was probably the conversation between them after the fight with the angel in the previous episode, during which Misato scolded him for the actions he took. Elsewhere, we see Shinji getting off a bus to the same mountain range in episode 2 overlooking the city, and proceeds to walk away from the city to the open plains outside it. In those plains, he meets Kensuke, who is camping and role-playing as a soldier. The two camp there for the night. In the morning, Nerve Security and Intelligence comes to take Shinji back. Misato confronts Shinji and tells him that he doesn't need to pilot the Eva if he doesn't want to, and that he should go home if he's going to cause this much trouble. He takes her up on her offer and leaves Nerve. On the way to take a train leaving the city, Kensuke and Suzuhara stop him, and Suzuhara asks Shinji to punch him as hard as he can, because he feels guilty due to the offense of the previous episode, where he punched him twice. Shinji proceeds to do so, and while being taken away to the train by his Nerve escorts, calls himself a sneak and a weakling. Misato, finally understanding the gravity of the situation she's put Shinji into, understands why Shinji acted the way he did. He doesn't know how else to express his feelings. She leaves to stop Shinji from getting on the train, but arrives too late. Unbeknownst to her, Shinji had already decided against leaving Tokyo 3, and had not boarded it, saying to Misato that he is already home. The episode ends. In episode 5, we begin with the events of 22 days prior, where Rei had participated in a startup test for Evangelion Unit 00, which is her Evangelion, in which the Evangelion had gone berserk, leaving her terribly injured and in the state that she was in at the beginning of the show. Back to the present, Shinji, Misato, and Ritsuko are at a black site where the remains of the second angel are being kept, and through analyzing its core, find out that they share 99.89% of the same DNA with the angel. Shinji notices burns on his father's hands as he walks by, and asks Misato and Ritsuko where he got them. They respond by telling him more about the startup incident that he didn't already know about, saying that his father risked his life to save Rei's, that the burns that he got are from opening up her ejected entry plug that was heated up by its own rocket propulsion system to save her. Shinji wonders to himself where this version of his father has ever been for him. Shinji is seen looking curiously at Rei the next day at school, and when Kensuke and Suzuhara press him for more information about her, Shinji replies with the fact that he barely knows anything about her at all. Later on, Shinji sees Rei talking to his father, and, to his surprise, both of them smile as they talk to one another, something rarely seen by anyone. Shinji yet again wonders where this version of his father has ever been for him. Misato invites Ritsuko over to their apartment for a dinner party, in which it is revealed that Shinji has a little crush on Rei. Ritsuko then tells him that she needs him to go over to Rei's apartment the next day to give her her new Nerve ID card so that she can access the facility. The next day, Shinji heads over to her apartment, and thinking that it's empty, he enters. He plans on leaving it on her bed but gets sidetracked with the messy situation of her apartment and his father's glasses on her bedstand. He picks up his father's glasses when Rei comes out of the shower wearing nothing at all and snatches the glasses away from him, which causes Shinji to trip and fall on top of her. Flustered, Shinji tries to explain himself, but Rei leaves the apartment for Nerve HQ without her new ID, clearly unfazed by the incident. Shinji catches up to her at Nerve HQ and explains the reason that he was there and gives her the new ID, which she also snatches away and walks away. On the escalator ride down to the main levels, it is revealed that Unit 00 will be undergoing another test today, and that Shinji wishes her good luck. Rei asks why he wishes her good luck and doesn't have faith in his own father's work. Shinji replies with the fact that he can never have faith in a lousy father like him. Furious, Rei slaps Shinji in the face and storms down the escalator. The test goes off without a hitch, but another angel is spotted in the distance after it is finished. Shinji in Unit 01 is sent out to engage, where he is attacked immediately. The episode ends. In Episode 6, continuing where the last episode left off, Shinji is saved from the angel, but is left unconscious by its attacks and is brought back down to Nerve HQ to receive immediate medical attention. Misato begins to plan a counterattack against the angel, who is currently trying to tunnel into Nerve HQ. The plan involves siphoning all of Japan's electricity into a positron rifle and shooting through the angel's protective barrier from far away to kill it. Shinji wakes up from his medical treatment and is greeted by Rei, who tells him the plan for the counterattack, which involves Shinji operating the positron rifle in Unit 01, while Rei protects him with a special shield in Unit 00. Shinji says that he won't pilot the Eva anymore, but when Rei says that she'll pilot it for him, he gives up on running away, as he realizes that Rei won't give him the attention that he seeks. Before the counterattack begins, Shinji and Rei talk for a bit, during which Rei says that the reason that she pilots the Eva is because it's her only link to everyone, and that without it, she wouldn't know anyone. The counterattack begins, and Shinji misses his first shot on the angel. During the reloading process, the angel begins to attack him, so Rei jumps in to defend him with her shield. But the shield that she was given can only defend against the angel's attacks for so long, so she ends up having to use herself as a shield. This gives Shinji enough time to reload and kill the angel, though Rei is left injured. Shinji saves Rei in the same way that his dad saved her in the startup incident, opening up her entry plug with his bare hands. The two of them share a moment where Shinji tells Rei that she shouldn't talk like she doesn't have anything, or say goodbye like she'll never be seen again. Rei asks how she should go about doing this, so Shinji tells her that she should start with a smile. Rei begins to see what she likes about Gendo and Shinji. The episode ends. And there you have it, the first 6 episodes of Evangelion explained. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I at least hope that the show made more sense afterwards. If you want me to continue with this and make this a series, just let me know down in the comments section, and based off that, I'll see if it's worth it to make a few sequels to this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.